Hey, this is Danny from the Magic Our Way podcast, and you guys are listening to the BS Podcast Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Lukewarm Cinema Podcast. Yes, it is me, Austin, and I'm here with
George
and Christian.
Guys, I just got to say, I really missed you both.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we were able to get all together tonight, Friday night.
Yes.
Been a long time.
I'm allowed to be out, by the way. I'm allowed to be out.
Yeah, we resuscitated Austin.
Yeah.
Yes.
He performed CPR. He's chill now.
It's like Chris performed the CPR. I got the AED patches. We had to shave Austin's fucking chest hair.
All two
so we
of
didn't
them.
fry it.
It's constricting you. And I cut your shirt off.
Yep. We didn't assess the situation. That was the one thing that we forgot to do at the beginning is assess the situation. Tell somebody to call 911. No, me and Christian just went straight for it.
I ran
him.
and lifted one leg up and he started just like hitting him in the stomach.
Yeah, we weren't sure if he was choking on a grape or dying of coronavirus, so we had to try everything.
It worked though. He's here.
I was pretty damn sick. I'm not going to lie.
So what was the worst it got?
It was actually when I was first sick, which was Thursday, Friday, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I felt the aches coming on Thursday night and I'm like, I'm probably getting sick. I should probably just like chill out. Friday, I woke up and I had zero energy, but I had a lot of mucus, but I always have a lot of mucus because I have allergies and I always have postnasal drip and I get a lot of sinus infections. So Sunday I went to the doctor and I was like, my head, like my forehead and like my eye sockets were just crushing my head. And he goes, yeah, it sounds like you have sinusitis. And I was like, okay, I've had that before. He goes, all right, here's amoxicillin, take it, drink lots of fluids. I was like, okay. Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Three.
It was 3. So that was a Sunday. Monday, I was like, I'm not feeling that great. I'll still work because I'm working from home. So I'm like, all right, I'll still get some work done, make that money. Still wasn't feeling that great. And then like Wednesday night, I'm sitting there at my desk watching some Joey Diaz compilation. And I literally like within 20 minutes just like melted into my chair. And I was like, I am so achy. Like I just felt like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Then Vanessa got extremely sick. And my dad actually was sick like 2 days before me, but that was it. And he went to the doctor because he has diabetes, so he goes quite often.
Regularly.
And his doctor, which is my doctor, goes, yeah, you're not contagious. And he goes, oh, okay. So he goes back to work. Then he's like, I'm just gonna be safe. So Friday, Vanessa and I decided to go get tested because we're like, this is really bad. I've been sick for over a week
COVID
now.
tested, correct?
Yeah, correct. We went to CVS. Super easy. It was drive-through test. No, I did not get the 4-foot-long pole stuck down my nose, thankfully.
They whip out a monster catheter.
No, mine was so the way it worked is you drive up and it's through like the prescription window outside like of the drive-through. And they go, all right, I'm going to walk you through it. And they give you 2 for Vanessa and I. We both had our tests scheduled like 10 minutes apart. So she's like, you're both here. We'll just do them both at the same time. It'll be really fast. We're like, okay. So you get this thing. You have to sanitize it before you touch it. You pull this stick out. It's like this long, but then you break it in half.
Okay.
I was like, okay, it can't be that bad. So she goes,
It was
okay.
like Austin held up about what was it, like 8 inches?
Yeah.
Like a stick like 8 inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, go ahead and break it in half. And Vanessa looks at each other like, oh, thank God. So then she goes, okay, we're gonna do this together, all 3 of us. And we're like, okay. So she goes, you're gonna stick the swab about an inch into your nose for 15 seconds. Counted to 15. Okay, now do the other one. I'm like, oh, we got to do the other one too. So you did the other one for 15 seconds. Then you put it in this vial, close it up. You sterilize the door of the box. And then she goes, okay, put them in there and then sterilize it again. And you're like, okay. And she's like, all right, I sent you guys an email on how to start up your CVS account. You'll get your results posted to there. It takes about 2 to 3 business days. This was Friday. My dad decided to go get tested at Sam Boyd Stadium. Apparently, he got like the military quarantine edition. The lady was like, all right, take the thing out. Now snap it in half and put it in your nose 15 seconds.
Oh my
She's like
God.
yelling at him the whole time. He's like, yes, ma'am.
All right.
Whoa, you make him sound excited.
Because he probably was. Anyways,
I
so
like
he
being told
takes it.
what to do.
He feels fine, by the way. He's like, I feel fine. He's like, I just took it anyways. I wake up Saturday morning. He comes over to me. He goes, I'm positive.
Oh.
And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So he's like, I'm working from home for the next 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, we have to be, because Vanessa and I had all the
And-
symptoms.
Did he have symptoms?
He did for like a day, and then that was it.
Dang.
I was like, oh shit, okay. We hear nothing back Saturday. Sunday morning, I just opened the thing and he goes, oh, your test results came back. You're negative. And I was like, what? So I go and talk to Vanessa. She goes, yeah, mine were positive. I was like, no way. So Monday morning, I call my HR for my work and I tell them what's up. I'm like, I'm just going to assume I have it. I have all the symptoms. I'm near 2 people
that have it.
So I called the pathologist, because they left the pathologist's phone number who ran my test, and she goes, yeah, obviously the tests aren't 100% accurate. She goes, you probably have a false positive or a false negative. She goes, based on what you told me, your situation, I would just assume that you have it. I was like, okay. So I told my work and they were like, yeah, just take the entire week off, stay at home, rest. I want to say Tuesday night, I was like, I feel fine now.
Okay.
Because I remember you came over to drop off the files Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
You're already looking better.
well, I was sniffly because I have allergies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just always gonna have that. That day, I was like, I feel fine. I still had a cough. I still have a cough. My mom had it a couple months ago, and she still has a cough. Vanessa had it the worst. She literally like couldn't keep food down, could barely keep liquids down. It was real scary. I was actually real worried I was gonna have to take her to the hospital.
Oh, Jesus.
Because she's still coughing super bad, but everything else she's fine. She's her energy. She did lose her smell and her taste though. She's still like not 100%.
That's crazy,
Like the
man.
day we got tested, I was like, "You want McDonald's? You want to eat something to feel better?" She's like, "Yeah." And then we got home. She's like, "I can't taste any of this." The only thing she could taste was the barbecue sauce for her nuggets. That
At
was
least.
it.
The
Thankfully,
chicken nuggies.
my son, who's 2 years old, he had like phlegm in his chest one day, and that was it. So either he's just like asymptomatic, or he's just a fucking titan and was like, I don't get
thank
sick.
God.
Yeah, we're really thankful.
Baby fucking germs are like something to not
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
around with. They don't fuck around with coronavirus.
Oh yeah, no. So this isn't the worst that I've been sick, but the worst I was ever sick was because of my son. I remember we both had to go to the hospital because of how sick we were. This was last year, 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was like I had to go to the ER because I couldn't sleep. I was just in agony, and it was a really bad flu. It was actually, I don't even think it was a flu. It was like a 24-hour bug, because within a day I was fine again. And Rowan had it Sunday. We had to take him to the ER. They had to like, I remember like he had such a bad fever that like you couldn't see the veins in his arms.
Oh, Jesus.
So they had to do like a IV in his head, and he was not happy. I mean, I wouldn't be happy either, but he was like not even a year old yet.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And then Thursday I got it, and I had to go to the ER, and they had to like pump me with fluids. And I get there and they're like, your temperature is 104. How are you not dead?
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
I don't know, boss. I'm
I don't
dying
know.
though.
But is there a freezer somewhere around here? Where do you guys keep the dead bodies?
Just stuff me in the bag. I'm down. But I do think it's something that is very underestimated. It took Vanessa out within a day. Like, she literally like just didn't leave the bed. I had Rowan 98% of the time, which I didn't mind. But it like people, here's the, like, not to get political or anything, but like I know I have a friend who told me that this dude that he knows on Facebook said that, oh yeah, my mom died of COVID. I still think it's fake. It's like, how do you, what?
It's just not as like, okay, you're the second person that I know, like legit know that just gotten it.
Yeah.
And like, I'll tell my story real quick because like I had a really bad like sinus buildup like 2 weeks ago too.
Just eat ghost pepper.
And I was blasted off an edible. It was the first time I had an edible in a while. And I hit a stage of paranoia. Like I was alone at the house. I was playing video games and my sinuses were so bad. Like I could only, I had to play video games standing up because it was so much pressure that when I stood up, that was the only time I felt good. And I texted my parents and I was like, I feel like I might be having it. And then the next day, like I did the neti pot and it was perfectly fine. But like, boy, I could see because everybody that I hear who's had it says it's a day. It takes only one night. It's just.
Yeah. Like for me, Thursday night, it's like I felt it towards the end of my shift Thursday and I was like, yeah, I'm really not feeling good. I took Friday off that day. When I first was sick and I was like, so I clocked in. I told my boss, I was like, hey man, I'm really not feeling that great. And he's like, just do what you can. An hour later, I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Like, I can't sit here. I can't stay focused. I remember just sitting on like the couch, laying down on the couch, like my son's watching like Cars 2. And I'm like, I like this movie. I'm going to fall asleep because I have no energy. I am done. And, yeah, it was kind of scary knowing like it's kind of like I didn't have it, but I did. I consider myself to have had it. So we self-quarantined. We got our groceries delivered. It was just like, all right, we're going to just wait it out. And then SNHD called us. They were like, hey, you guys are fine by like Thursday. I stopped showing symptoms way before Vanessa, but they told Vanessa, you're fine. Like you're fine to go. You can be out and about yesterday, as I'm saying this right now on Friday. They told her this Sunday. He said, yeah, Thursday, you're fine. Okay. Because we had already been quarantining for basically 3 weeks at that point. So it's rough. Like I
wonder how many people don't like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think, Chris? Like, do you think people get told like you have the coronavirus? Do you think people still go out?
Yeah, they get caught.
Yeah. Like, okay. It's messed up because we do live in a time where we live in a
society.
We live in society. Here's my manifesto. No, but we live in a time where like everybody's always like dabbing on like the media of making shit up. And they do. But people get emboldened and are like, maybe it's just a conspiracy. I don't have it. Okay. And I'm a conspiracy guy, right? And I can see XYZ. You can tell that people, it's kind of like, well, it's like other theories where it's like, we don't know that those people who have it or really have it. They're just saying that. So I believe people don't understand. People don't understand how it works. They're like, they don't understand that you cannot show symptoms and have it and spread it. People probably don't know that. You know what I mean? There's people that have to be out there like, oh, I'm going to go cough on the friggin' lady in the salad line. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's something that's very underestimated. Just from personal experience, like it's not the worst sick that I've been, but I was pretty goddamn sick.
Yeah. No, I've heard nothing but horror stories, man. I was super worried about my dad getting it because my dad has hella underlying conditions.
See, that's the thing. Like both my parents have diabetes. Conditions. Both my parents have diabetes, and my mom actually has to take insulin. And when she had it, I was really worried about her. But she was sick. She told me, she was like, I had a cough the entire time. She still kind of has it, but she was like, I was really only sick for like 3 days.
No, I'm scared to ask you because I kind of got like some chest congestion. Is it a chest congestion or is it more of like a head kind of, or is it a combo?
It's a little bit of a combo. I had more of it in my throat.
Got you.
But I also think I had pneumonia too because of the symptoms that I had mixed with mucus. Mucus wasn't really a symptom listed with COVID, but pneumonia is something that you can get from COVID. So I think I did have pneumonia. So I don't know, man. Maybe you got both. Maybe like me.
See, and a big part of like the conspiracy, I guess I would say, is that people think they're inflating the death toll of the virus because it exacerbates pre-existing conditions, right? So they say, oh, it was really the pre-existing condition. They have no right to include that in the toll. But it's like, no, if they didn't have coronavirus, they would not have died.
Yeah.
This is, and I understand like that's how conspiracies are like built, right? But I don't know. You gotta push the truth, the real reason, the reason behind the reason.
You gotta super uncover it, unwrap it until it fucking is at its base core.
Take the mask off,
then
take the blanket
realizes-
off, take the skin off.
That the reason why the coronavirus even started was because of the Temple of Doom. And I mean, I can't believe nobody said it to this point.
Yeah. So speaking of that, let's talk about happiness. I'm okay. I'm here. I feel 100%. Vanessa's feeling 85% besides the cough. Rowan is still crackhead city. My dad's completely fine. Nobody else in my house got it. Like my sister, because my sister and my mom had to both test negative to go back to work, and they both did. So it was like, okay. What did we watch tonight? We watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which is undoubtedly the best Indiana Jones film. I will take that to my grave. It's the best Indiana Jones film. Like I told you guys, and I've said it, I believe I've said it on the show before. One of the nights in quarantine, on one of the cable channels, they had a Indiana Jones marathon. I was like, hell yeah. And then Last Crusade came on. I'm like, god damn it. And my dad's like, what? This is a great movie. I'm like, no, Dad. The way it works is if there's a marathon in order, you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, you watch Temple of Doom. Last Crusade comes on, it's time for a nap. That's like it's 2:00 on a Sunday. I'm going to take a snooze on the couch.
See, and I told you earlier that my perception being like, you're the mega indie fan, right? Whereas we've just seen some of the movies, right? Like I saw Crystal Skull when I was younger. I saw Temple of Doom when I was younger. My perception was always that Kingdom of Crystal Skull is the one that gets shat on.
Oh yeah, because to be fair, they did kind of resolve it in.
Is that the one with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's the most recent one. That was the last one.
That's the last one. Even though apparently they're making a new one right now with Harrison Ford, surprisingly, because he's like, God damn it, leave me alone, I'm old. So
maybe it was Shia LaBeouf his son.
Yes, because the love interest from the first film is back in the fourth film.
Yes, now it's connected.
Yes,
I remember that.
It is connected. Indy probably has like 15 kids, man. I mean,
he's fucking slinging dick everywhere, every country. Don't matter.
I said, like, I hype Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors because of Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is my favorite movie series. And we're watching Temple of Doom, and he walks down the stairs in his white suit, and I'm like, look at this motherfucker in a white suit. Look at him.
Why as a motherfucker?
Like, he's dripping so bad that people are slipping.
Yeah, let's talk about that opening sequence.
It was great.
Okay.
I don't want to get into a synopsis, so I don't want to do that again.
Okay.
But the
let's talk
opening
about
sequence was
something
my
else.
favorite. Yeah, I loved it.
I don't know. Christian, just to preface this, Christian was laughing so fucking hard through the entire film. I will admit, 99% of this movie is so badly dated that it's good.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. I accept it because it's like, now, don't get me wrong, this movie knows how to create a good action sequence and create lots of tension, where I was like tapping my foot. I'm like, oh, are they going to make it? Is it going to happen? At the same time, some of it's like older, almost like cartoonish action. Like these guys come out into the ballroom with Tommy guns and start shooting at Indy. And there's a giant gong hanging from like a fixture. Indy jumps behind it to take cover. He's peeking out both sides. Then to fight the guy, he cuts it down and it starts rolling across the room. And he's trying to make his way across the room while using the rolling gong for cover. And as the guy is shooting the Tommy gun into the gong to shoot him, from Indy's side, you could see little holes appearing cartoonishly on the other side of the gong.
Pew, 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 pew.
And that was one of the that was like the earliest cackle of the movie. So that's kind of how the action pans out a little bit.
That's literally just like, imagine that, but for that movie's almost 2 hours, but just of Christian going or Christian or me going like, oh Jesus, I forgot that's in here. Look how bad that looks.
Oh, there were some pieces and parts of that movie where I was just like, they really had to sit in like the final boardroom and just be like, Yep. Nope. This is it. Right. This
Well, I mean,
is
what
what
did
we
they have
want.
to go off of at that point? Star Wars? That was probably it.
What year was Temple of Doom made?
Oh, God, you just had to ask that, didn't you? Give me a sec.
Do, 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 do. We'll take time to the Lukewarm Cinema Podcast brought to you by GCP. If you feel better, GCP. Apple Podcast, Spotify. Type in Lukewarm Podcast. Get a GCP. And we're back.
We're not an ASMR podcast. I apologize for that. It was released May 8th, 1984. So they just had maybe the first 2 Star Wars films. I know for sure the first one. Yeah, because Star Wars Episode 4 came out in 1977. Oh, yeah. So they had that and Empire Strikes Back, because Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980.
You said 84?
1984 was Temple of Doom. 1977 was the first Star Wars movie.
Oh my God.
Well,
They had all 3 Star Wars movies, because Return of the Jedi came out in 1983.
So everyone knows we put this. Austin, love him to death, has this movie on DVD. I was like, I don't have a DVD player, but I got my Xbox. We put the disc in the Xbox, and it says that the audio settings or something aren't compatible, and I have to like disable my Bluetooth or whatever, or Blu-ray.
It was like, this ain't no goddamn Blu-ray. Get that shit out of here.
Get this goddamn disc out of me.
I have the entire box set of the first 3 films and a 3-hour long bonus features. That's why I know so much fucking shit about these movies, because I watched them so fucking often. My dad bought that for me. So a little backstory. The reason why I got into Indiana Jones is 4th grade. Went to Disneyland, went on the Indiana Jones ride, and I loved it. It was my favorite ride. I had to buy the hat from the store, which I bought like 2 more since I've been there.
Oh my God.
I had to get another one because the last one, my head got too fucking big. And so my dad bought it for me. I remember he bought it for me at Meadows Mall at Spencer's. Oh, no, it wasn't Spencer's. There was like a DVD like store there. And they had the box set. My dad bought it. And I was like, oh, cool. Who's that for her? And my dad like would buy shit in front of me that like I probably should have realized was for me, but it wasn't. Like I remember in kindergarten, I had the PlayStation 2 and I was going to graduate. And I was like, oh, look, a PlayStation controller. Because I found it next to his desk. He was like, oh, yeah, that's for my coworker. I was like, oh, cool. And then he gave it to me the day like we graduated. And I was like, oh, you got me. It was the same thing with this because I'm at the store with him. I'm like, oh, what are you getting that for? He's like, oh, it's for your uncle. He really likes these movies. I was like, okay, cool. And then it was like a month before Christmas. He goes, surprise! Like on Christmas. And I'm like, oh, wow. All of the Indiana Jones films.
And then that Austin. So what is it? Because like, is it just Harrison Ford? Is it?
No, it's Indiana Jones, the character. I fell in love with him. He's a badass. I don't know. He's just so like.
He's sophisticated too. He's
not just like
he's masculine, but sophisticated.
Yes. Well, he's a professor. He's a college professor of archaeology.
I would love to be in his class. Like
no,
in
you
college.
wouldn't. I was telling Christian in the Last Crusade, he comes back to the school and he's teaching a class, and then he exits and the class is over and he gets out and there's like 80 kids go, you haven't graded my paper yet. He doesn't like because he's just always like, oh shit, look in Peru they need me to go find this. Gotta go.
He'll be like, oh, just fucking give them all A's. If they turn in a paper, give them all A's.
Probably. But like apparently like in Raiders, you can see that like girls like throw themselves, like students throw themselves at him. And he was like, what did you say about Harrison Ford when he was talking to Willie Scott in the beginning?
Remind me. I said a lot of raunchy shit.
I think you said he was the original Thought Slayer.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They're in the plane, which is a plane that was supposed to like haul chickens somewhere.
It was poultry, yeah.
And the pilots jumped out the plane because the guy that Indy screwed over, let's say, in the first act of the movie, turned out it was his people. So he called them up like, hey, jump out of the plane, bro. So Indy and Willie in short round crash. And but anyways, getting off my track. What had happened was Willie, the singer, was like, she was trying to get Indy's trying to, what's the word? Interact with him.
Seduce.
Honey dick him.
Yeah, she was trying to honey dick him. And he's like, darling, try to keep quiet while I sleep. She's like, you can't take your eyes off me. So he tips his hat over his eyes to go to sleep and like ignores her. So I said, the original Thought Destroyer,
Yes.
Indiana Jones.
I don't know. He kind of destroyed her like throughout the entire film, and then was like, "You love me, right?" She was like, "All right, I guess so."
That's the thing. Like, I think that he laid a good base down for like how to be a true Mac Daddy for all the boys in the world.
That's what I was saying. Like our
The
parents are
Dennis method.
sexist.
Yes. Just demonstrate their value.
Demonstrate value. He pulls that BA move, escaping to the plane, fighting off the what were they, Chinese?
Yes, because they were in Shanghai.
Yeah, they were in Shanghai, fighting off the Chinese gangsters.
Demonstrating value to her.
What is E?
Establish emotional connection. So it's tied, I guess,
Okay.
in that. And then
And is neglect. Neglect is the plane scene.
yes.
When he's like,
but
I'm
it's
going to
also
ignore
like
you.
all of it too throughout the whole thing. He was like, "Can you shut up?"
Oh, he Dennis's it throughout. He bounces back and forth in the Dennis system. But at the end of the day, he could have got her whenever he wanted.
Oh yeah, and you see that like in the middle of the film when like they're like kissing and she was like, "I'm not that easy." He goes, "Yeah, me neither." And he just opens the door and walks out. And she was like, "You'll be back here in 5
God.
minutes."
Damn.
It's funny because they're both interested in each other, but they both play hard to get. So it's like this funny back and forth game throughout the movie.
Yeah, let's get into, because I George really inspired me with This Is the End, with him bringing up some trivia, and that was like spur of the moment, right?
Yeah. I kind of just
Today
ran with it.
today I was like, "Hey guys, can we record tomorrow?" George was like, "Can we record today?" I'm like, "Yeah." When I get off work, I was like, "We're gonna watch a movie," and I already knew what movie we were gonna watch, so I started like writing down cool facts and then like trivia questions for you guys.
Let's do it. I'm in it.
All right. So, first, if you guys just major takeaways from this film, because this might take a little bit with.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, I love the outrageous action scenes. I love the live animals. There was lots of like live bugs. The elephants were real.
They spent $10,000 on those bugs.
I thought you said it was 100.
No. It was. I meant to say 10. It was
Okay,
10,000,
okay.
not 100,000. No, that'd be ridiculous. But they spent a lot of money on bugs.
So like the action scenes that I'm talking about are like them flying off the side of a cliff in a goddamn raft, right? Like, I mean, full on free fall.
like 500 feet.
Like, I was like, what in the world? And then they just land, and then the movie just continues like that didn't even just happen. That is what I loved about it the most, is like, and you have a couple of those scenes where like the chick is like about to die, you know, she's in like the cage, she gets lowered into the fire and then brought back up and then lowered again, and then she's like comes out like completely unfazed, not even sweating. She's hanging over a lava pit.
But the dude who went in before her like started melting 20 feet above
like a
it.
crisp, right? No, I think that was my favorite part. I like the action, I like the crazy comedy, and then the overall the acting. Short Round was my favorite character.
You call him Dr. Jones, doll.
Dr. Jones. I loved the way he defended freaking Indy the entire film.
Also, like, this movie could not fly today.
Oh no.
With the way she was like, "Where'd you find him?" He goes, "I caught him." Like he was a fucking like animal or something.
I think the most like racial part was when they're walking on the bugs. He's like, I feel like I'm stepping on fortune cookies. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so Short Round is, they're in this like the start of the like Temple of Doom, let's say, that they just uncovered. All these bugs on the ground, exotic bugs, really nasty. But first they're in the dark, they don't know they're bugs. So Short Round, of course, I'm sure the directors say something Chinese about the situation. He says, it's like we're stepping on fortune cookies.
Please tell them your reaction when Willie has to get them out of the room that has spikes in it, and she shines the light in the area where the switch is.
Okay. This movie had some great humor. It came off so good. So Indy and Short Round are in this room where Short Round accidentally he goes against the wall. He presses a button. The room starts caving in slowly from the top, right? it's like a death trap thing, right? To trap them in, and spikes come out of the floor and ceiling. So it's like basically there's a button where they came in that somebody has to press. Willie, she has to do it. And she's a total like, like a girly girl, let's say, like, oh, I can't touch bugs and go in this dungeon.
Remember when they're at the campfire before they get to the palace, Indy's like, what the problem? Like, and they're playing poker, him and Short, and he's like, the problem with her is the goddamn noise. Like, that's some real Dennis shit too, I'm assuming.
Damn it. She kept screaming over fucking everything. My favorite is she would scream right at the top of her lungs at the most inopportune time. And then Short Round would like accidentally like let out a peep and a freaking Indiana Jones would be like, shh, shut up, Short Round.
But then she'd be like, wah! And he's like, nice.
Cannot wait to tear you up later, baby.
I'm going to make you scream louder than the snakes.
Please continue, Christian.
Okay. So, and I'll tell you about the jokes in a second here, but a big thing to remember is that the culture shock is a big part of this movie. They go to India. They're eating exotic foods.
They land in India.
Yeah. Well, they crashed, but really Vishnu brought them there. Wink, wink.
Yeah, Shiva brought them.
Yeah, you're right. Anyhow, Willie is the one who, like, she's the one who reacts to the culture shock the whole movie. Indiana, he's been around the world. He doesn't care. Shortstop's kind of freaked out. But he's like, whatever. I'm kind of like a nomad too, of sorts, following Indy around. Willie, she's a baby. She sees like a lizard and a snake and all in bats, and she's freaking out in the jungle.
Well, she's like running. It's obviously set up, but like she runs into a snake. She runs this way. There's
there's another lizard.
And like growls at her like, bitch, stop fucking stepped on me.
So she's the baby. She reacts to the culture shock. They're sitting around the table and eating exotic foods. One guy's eating a beetle. They're eating monkey brains, right? Which you told us, what was the monkey brains really made out of?
It was custard. So a lot of this. Oh, first of all, if any of y'all want to catch hands in Indiana Jones trivia, get the Quiz Up app. And I'm number one. I'm usually always top 3.
We need somebody to beat Austin. I think Austin's head, it was so big he couldn't even fit in this fucking room. That's how
I've been
good he thinks he is at
top
this
3
trivia.
on this app since I was in high school when the app first came out.
I gotta find 2 and 3, and we gotta have like a final Jeopardy
you just
showdown.
Watched 2, so you gotta watch 1, 3, and 4.
No, I'm talking about the top 2 people on the leaderboard.
Oh, they're like in like
and
Denmark
then we gotta
or
have
something.
We gotta have like a freaking like a Jeopardy style setup within like a special appearance.
Because the way the app works is it's a trivia game and it's 2 people competing against each other. But the faster you get the answer, the more points you keep.
I think I remember Quiz Up.
Yeah. So people will be sitting there like, who is Willie Scott? And I'm like, fuck that. And I'm like, it's like a reflex. But sorry. What was I even talking about? I was talking about how I have.
You're talking about you said the vein on your forehead from all the Indiana Jones knowledge. Sometimes it pulses and it hurts.
It does really hurt.
Which I'm starting to pick up on that now. You should probably put your hat back on because I don't like that.
I look like Sheen when he got the big head.
Exactly. Yeah. When Sheen gets the big head in Jimmy Neutron and his head's pulsing.
Jimmy's man.
Okay.
Jimmy.
Okay. I had to do my Carl noise.
What's up?
So the humor in this movie is impeccable. Willie's a girly girl. So look, the dang room is closing in on Short Round and Indy, and Willie has to go through the bugs, the floor of bugs to get to the button to press it. Oh, it's not a button, it's a lever. She has to stick her hand in a hole, right? She sticks her hand in the wrong hole. That hole had a few bugs on it, right?
But it was Indy's hand.
Yeah. Indy sticks his hand out from the other room and points, no, your other right, that hole. She looks at the other hole. There's more bugs in that one.
And
like a dozen giant big ass bugs she would have to touch to put her arm in it.
And the whole time Christian just goes,
like she's doing this impossible feat with how like dainty she is, right? And when they reveal the second hole has more bugs on it and she has to put her arm in it, I just cackled. I'm like, Indy's gonna die.
They're dead.
I was just waiting for like the cutaway for like Joe Rogan to be like, all right, Willie, you got to beat a time of 35:27.
Ready, go.
Put your hand in the bug.
Oh yeah, Fear Factor.
Yeah. So Christian,
Damn, they drank horse cum on that show once. Well, it was deleted scene.
Yeah, Joe
They
Rogan
made him
talks
drink
about it.
horse
too.
cum.
Joe Rogan talks about it too. It's great. Christian, what takeaways do you have from the film? What really did you like about it?
Okay, humor was great. I loved how it was all based on like the Indian and Hindu religion and mysticism. Talking about Shiva and Kali, and that's like what the cult is based on. To be fair, I bet like a lot of people who didn't know about like Indian culture probably watched that, and that's why they think like they're all mystic, is because they saw Indiana Jones. But it was super cool. The action was really good. Like we saw some funny CGI shots where like when the mine carts flip at the last sequence.
Oh my god.
Which I have a question about that later. So it'll make more sense when you guys hear the answer to that, or if you guys somehow get the answer.
And the action was really good. I ended up liking the characters. Short Round and Indy had like her like a quick heart to heart once like they got out of the shit. And Willie was fine. She was like the damsel. You got to have the damsel for the guy to win, right? That's how these things go.
See, but like the first movie, like the damsel in distress is Marion Ravenwood, but she's like a fucking badass. Like she's sitting there just like slugging with Nazis, like she's in a UFC cage, just slugging with.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, literally, I ain't hear no goddamn bell. That's why she's in the fourth movie. But anyways, go ahead, Christian. I'm sorry.
Per usual, the score is great. We got John Williams. It's the same as the other movies, but we like it for a reason. What else? Obviously, like the Kali Ma scene was like super iconic.
Please tell them your story with that.
Okay, hold on. We'll get there. hold on, we'll get there. First, I just like to say that this movie was kind of hellish. They go into this temple, right? And like they have a pit of lava. They put this the guy in a cage as a sacrifice to Kali. That's like the Hindu Satan, all right, let's say. Religion is the same. Don't at me, okay? They put somebody in this cage. They sacrifice him. The lead guy comes up. The lead cultist guy. He says Kali Ma, and he puts his hand in his chest and he pulls out his heart. Right? And he holds his beating heart in his hand. And then they lower the cage
but his
into
wound heals. It just goes back together like it was Velcro.
Yeah, his wound, like now was that effects or was that implied like magic type stuff?
It's supposed to be like that's how much power I have over you. It was obviously a practical effect, but
what if his buddy just did that, bro?
They just
they were
naturally.
like, why should you be in the Indiana Jones film? Watch this. And they're like, what the fuck?
This dude could grow another fucking heart. Sign him immediately.
Stem cell research.
They still only gave him $10.
And they lower the guy into a pit and he burns to death. And there's these hellish statues everywhere and blood and sacrifices. It was some scary stuff. Okay. Now, the story about Kali Ma is that Austin and I went to Disneyland. He went on a family trip with us, right? We went out to Anaheim. We went to Disneyland. We rode Star Tours. And the whole time, because like they're both Harrison Ford movies, Star Tours is the Star Wars movie. It's like one of those 4D
We're
rides.
also like 12. Yeah. This was 6th grade.
Yeah, we're children, so it's totally justified. We're riding the Star Wars ride, and I'm yelling Indiana Jones quotes, like just to be like a derp.
Literally, we're like crashing into stuff. He's like, Kali Ma, Indy, cover your heart.
Yeah, we're like flying through space. I'm like, cover your heart, Indy. He's gonna take your heart. Kali Ma. And vice versa.
Yeah, we get on the Star Wars ride, but I joined in or we get on Indiana Jones in the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. I joined in on this one, but we were both yelling like, use the Force, Luke.
Yeah, like, and we were
people fucking
kids.
hated us.
We were shithead kids, so it's God. Somebody's gonna hear us and like think we're retarded, and it's gonna be funny.
They probably did. So
I got
all
the
old
papers.
People were laughing, but at the same time, they're like, I should have came up with that. This kid's fucking clever right here.
This kid's a genius.
What else did you take away, Chris? What did you really like about this film? What really stuck out to you? What made it a 10 out of 10 as it should be for both of you?
Okay, I like how they took the like Hindu like mysticism, like they took the archaeological aspect of their civilization and then made had supernatural stuff kind of happen. like with those stones. It was like those stones really had magic power. The one kid has like a voodoo doll. The guy uses
Which Christian
magic.
also laughed at. He was like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, I laughed because it was hellish. Like, okay, some
extremely.
pretty weird stuff happened, right? And then Indy's fighting this guy, and the kid who's like the king of the temple or whatever earlier on in the film, he has a voodoo doll now, which he made in some time before, like after he got there, that has his little hat and his whip. And I'm like, oh, more demon shit. Oh God. And he has he pulls a pin out of his headpiece and he starts stabbing the thing while Indiana Jones is on this like rock smasher. He's about to roll to his death. Another great action scene, by the way. Super tense, and Shortstop has to save him. Short round, not shortstop. That's baseball.
Shortstop is it.
He probably could play shortstop.
Yeah. I loved the supernatural aspect. I thought it spiced it up. I loved the drawbridge scene.
It's
Or it
iconic.
wasn't a drawbridge. It was a rickety bridge scene, I should say.
It was just a bridge, but it's such an iconic, great scene with very dated practical and CGI effects.
Yes.
Yeah. Like we said, like in an earlier time, if I was watching that on like the quality of 1984, the CGI wouldn't have been as noticeable. Okay.
But yeah, but now we have like the
So
Avengers.
Yeah. I give it the benefit of the doubt, you know.
It's still my favorite movie. So
Our kids are going to be like, what in the fuck were you guys thinking watching these movies?
no, my son's gonna be like, "This is a great movie. Call him on, Dad."
Let me get your heart.
He already tries that. He doesn't even know what he's doing yet, but he's already. So, did you guys? I'm not gonna make it a 0 out of 10 or 1 through 10. George, did you like this movie? Were you entertained?
Yes, I did. I'm so upset that I fucking am so tired, bro. Like literally, I brewed 2 cups of coffee during this movie because I woke up at like 6:30 this morning.
It is currently.
It's about to be
It's
midnight.
it's almost midnight.
It's about to be almost midnight, and like I've been going today, but what got me excited about this movie was Harrison Ford's acting, and like I was able to like follow the movie without fully being like in it, like not into it, but like
You don't have to sit there and be a deep thinker to get the movie.
true, right? Like I was able to go get my cups of coffee. I was able to like be in and out at times, but still understand where this movie was headed, which is key for me. Because sometimes when I have to think too hard in a movie,
It loses you.
I'm not a fan. So if I was to give this, what was it? We're going 10 pineapples this time? 1 out of 10
I
pineapples?
think we did five pineapples.
1 out of 5 pineapples.
5 being best, 1 being the worst.
This would be a solid 3.5 pineapples. Now you remake this movie today, I think we're looking at like if you get some even better CGIs and stuff, and
No, if they remake it, they just got to use the same like 1980s CGI.
oh my god!
But could you imagine though with like how good the cinematography would be, and then just counteract it with this really
the CGIs look like some you'd see in a freaking YouTube video from 2006, like somebody who just
It looks like
put
everything on
together
the
a whole
Sci-Fi
bunch-
Channel.
like, oh, I like this explosion edit. Let me put this for my intro. Like that's how the plane blew up on the mountain. Like it's comical. No, I loved it, and I think the acting was pristine. Like I think the actors fucking carried this film, because like even when Christian, you said like the hellish figures. What the hell was his name? I
forget his name, but he's like the
voodoo
leader
guy.
of the tribe.
Yes, terrifying. Like like they did a great job of really scaring the shit out of you with those like intense close-up shots of this dude's headdress, and then I think all throughout Harrison Ford is the GOAT. I can completely understand why you loved it as a kid and why you like related with it, because it's what every
He's a
kid
badass.
it's what every kid imagines like they want to be. So going to get treasure.
But being smart because your parents put you in school.
Yes.
Like that's important. You got to be smart, kids.
I forgot to mention this too. I love how in every Indiana Jones film, like he wears like these archaeologist ass clothes, but like in the intense scenes, somehow they find a way to show off his biceps and his fucking.
It's really
his
only
muscles.
this movie. It's really only this one that they do that though.
See, okay, but then even in like the Crystal,
Well, Crystal Skull, he's like 70 years old.
yeah, I know, but I mean, he gets blown up by the freaking nuke in the fridge, and he comes out, and I mean, I still think he's showing like a little something, like his sleeves ripped off or something, you know?
And he's still like, I'll fucking kill you.
Right? No, but they found a great way to show off Harrison Ford's rockin' hot bod in this film.
Oh yeah, and he worked hard. Like I said, I think they said that I think they said he trained for like
they
6
oiled
weeks straight.
that man's biceps up
Oh,
for that
so
bridge
good.
scene.
And then they like added some shadow with makeup on his arm, and they're like, oh yeah, that shit looks ripped.
He's the epitome of get you a man who can do both. He's like
Yeah.
sophisticated, speaking different languages, talking about all these cultures,
And
and
he's fucking dudes up in a bar.
and then he's swinging on the light rafters, sword fighting these people, and with a whip in the other hand, and just being a total Chad.
Chris, so going to you, did you like it? Were you entertained? What do you rate it? 0 to 5 pineapples.
It was I'd say 3.5 or 4 for sure. Okay, it was the genre. I'd say it's like an action movie, but like with stuff to spice it up. It had the archaeological and cultural part of it, the mysticism part of it, and like I said, Harrison Ford, like he was. My favorite moment was perhaps like he had a little heart to heart where he held Short Round, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Indy, you're okay, my friend, right? And I was like, oh shit. They're
it's
really
fucking
buddies.
deep. And what's really shitty is like that's the only movie he's in.
Kind
They-
of sad.
No, seriously, because they could have like seriously took advantage of Short Round. Like that dude.
They could have easily have just made, instead of Mutt in number 4, they could have just did like, nah, Short Round's my kid.
been bad.
That would have been pretty badass because Short Round grew up just fucking dudes up. Like there's a part where he's like doing fucking like Bruce Lee kicks on dudes before
Mhm.
Bruce Lee, 'cause this is in the 30s. I mean, it was filmed in the 80s, but
He's like that little small kid in every action film that finds a way, like with their size, to somehow save the day. Somehow move a freaking. What was one of his iconic moves? I think he.
well, he kept like the way he figured out how to, because so the way they make you become part of the Thuggies is they make you drink the blood.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
you become in this daze, and he just like lit fucking Indiana Jones on fire, and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm good." So then the kid, who is the like the Maharaja of the palace, he's probably like the same age as Short Round, probably like 9. He's like,
That was the scene. Okay, now I
yeah,
remember.
yeah, and he just walks up and goes, ah, and he just holds the fire up to him, and the kid's like, ah, and he's like, oh, I'm good now, and he's like, yeah, like
You're
bitch is
fine.
on fire. I'm extremely biased, so this is gonna be a 5 out of 5 pineapples for me.
Yes. Yes.
It is my favorite movie in the series, let alone my favorite movie of all time. It's just, I think I also really like it because my first interaction with Indiana Jones was the ride at Disneyland, and the most amount of reference points are from Temple of Doom. Yes, at the very end you have the boulder from the first film, but that's it. It's just to be like, look, all right, you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have some trivia stuff for you guys, some cool stuff. I'm going to start off with a little backstory of the film. It is very dark. This was not the initial version that they wrote. It's actually much darker. And George Lucas, who's the writer for it, says, yeah, I was going through a divorce at the time, so that probably really contributes to why it was so dark. He's like, I was going through a divorce, and it was just a bad time. So, great movie. Great writing, great everything. So, the first question I have for you guys is, which actor suffered an injury while on set, and what was the injury? I'll let you guys think about that and go whenever you guys think you know.
I'll say it was Harrison Ford did the most stuff, so I think he probably broke or sprained a leg.
Okay.
I would like to think it wasn't Short Round, but I think you're going to surprise us here. I'm going to say it was Short Round. I think when he was going up to kill that other guy, he probably fell off that little well thing. And he
oh no, man.
he like broke his arm or something.
All right. So it was Harrison Ford.
Okay.
I told you to remember this scene from the movie. What scene was that? I said, George, remember this for when I tell you upstairs.
He was on the fucking elephant,
He
wasn't
got
he?
a hernia from riding on the elephant. Now the fucked part is he was like he was just in so much pain, and he was literally like on a stretcher, and they would wheel him around like during those scenes in the mine shaft where he was like fighting people. He would get up and muscle through his parts and then lay back down, and they would do the next shot. George Lucas comes on to say, he's like, oh no, we cannot have this. So they shut down production for, I want to say, like a year. So he had to have surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad. It was from the elephant. Yeah, Harrison Ford was saying it was like the way he was sitting on it, like just like misaligned his back, and it was real bad.
You have to be a real fucking because
I mean, they're paying him good
if
money
that
for
was
that.
short round, right? They just replace him. Like, that's no question.
I don't know. They were really into short round. And
I know, but like to shut down production for a long period of time, like,
but your main actor is out.
You have to.
So
you have to.
Next question for you guys. Hope that was a cool one for you.
It was. Fuck that elephant.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd get hurt on the elephants of all places. So that's really surprising to me.
What do you guys think was the movie's budget? Because you asked us this one.
I'm terrible. I don't know how much things cost. $2 million.
I think you're not too far off.
Okay.
I don't think you're too far off.
This is a 2-part question. Okay. Okay. Let me re-ask this question.
Go ahead.
What was the movie's budget, and then how much did it make in the box office?
Okay.
You said $2 million budget.
They definitely made more in the box office in this one. I think by a significant amount. I'm going to say they had a $5 million budget, and they made $50 million off of it.
Okay.
I don't know. I want to know how much they made.
Just throw a number out there.
$1 billion.
Okay. You're way off. You're both way off. The budget for the film was $28 million.
Wow.
They made in the box office $333.1 million.
Damn, I well understood. I'm so sorry. God, I did not think the budget was that high. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't think it was either. And I looked up, I was like, what? Really?
Fucking paying Harrison Ford a half of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, on to the next question. What was the original rating for the film before it was released, and what happened for it to change? So, just so we know, this isn't going to be the secret. The rating of Temple of Doom is PG-13.
Okay.
Maybe it was R before.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm going to say it was PG before. Nothing shouts R to me.
So you guys have different ratings. Okay. Now, what do you guys think it took, or what do you think happened for it to change to the PG-13 rating?
Maybe they toned down like the dying a little bit.
Okay.
Like not like direct, like, oh, gore motherfucker, but rather like, oh, he's lowered into the fire and you see a boom, then it kind of pans off type of stuff. Like toning down some of the gorier stuff, I suppose.
And I think that's why they made it PG-13. I think they went from PG, and I think the scene it was the heart scene, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a pretty gruesome scene, but there's a lot of gruesome gore in this movie.
Yeah.
All right. Christian was right. It was R-rated.
Okay.
What happened was PG-13 did not exist until Temple of Doom.
Really?
Because Steven Spielberg goes, hey man, if we have an R rating that's less of an audience, he's like, maybe we could do like a PG-14 or PG-15, and that got the people who were behind all the ratings to go, all right, maybe we should open up a rating that's a little like, more for like teenagers. Like, all right, if you have a parent saying it's okay, all right. And that's how the PG-13 rating came to be, was because of Temple of Doom.
Sure, in 1984 makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question. Which actor was found for their role on accident?
I'll say short round.
Okay.
I thought short round too.
You guys are both correct. So what happened was they were at his
Where'd
school.
you find him? We didn't. We caught him.
We caught him. So they were there, and they were actually auditioning his brother, but his brother was having a hard time doing it. And so the actor's name is Ke Huy Quan, and he was helping his brother. And they're like,
you murdered that name. Good fucking knuckle that up. I know that's not easy right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
One more time, I bet.
Ke Huy Quan?
Ke Huy Quan.
Anyways, so that guy's actually a stunt double now for a lot of movies. So he was helping his brother, like, oh, hey, here's how you have to do it. And like Kathleen Kennedy was like, oh, hold up. I like you.
I like that.
I like you. Can we catch you?
Can you say Dr. Jones one more time?
Dr. Jones. So he did not go in there to audition. He was just there to help his brother audition.
Yeah.
And so he got the role. And
I'd be kind of salty if I was Short Round's brother, not gonna lie.
And then he went and did the Goonies right afterwards, though.
Damn, no, for real. Like What if he just had some bad food the night before? He had some food poisoning. His
They were
stomach hurted?
young. They're probably like in elementary school, so they're probably like, I'm shy.
Yeah, dude, no, because when you said that Short Round's a stunt double now, it completely blew my mind because he absolutely murders acting. Like,
Oh yeah, he's a really good actor. He
sold
just-
it.
As an adult, he just found like he was better at doing.
He's like, all right, how do I get paid? Just about half. I never have
He has
to be
like
on.
a super thick Texas
I
accent,
never have to be on camera more than 2-3 times,
and I still make just as much money.
and I still make a good amount. All right, stunt double.
So I'm gonna take a quick break from questions and go into some cool facts.
Awesome.
So producer Robert Watts and production designer Elliot Scott traveled to India to scout the interiors and exteriors for the film, which had a budget of $28 million, as we know. All of the exteriors, including the Maharaja's Palace, which was to be shot in an existing palace called Amer Fort, and most of the interiors, including the city palace in Jaipur. I hope I didn't just fucking butcher that. We actually do have people who listen to us in India, so please forgive me. Which would also stand in for the Maharaja's Palace. They were both found fairly quickly, but the local government rejected their permits because they found the script to be offensive to Indian culture.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
They're taking real things from Indian culture, but it's kind of like, imagine like the difference like when it happens to like, let's say, white Christian culture. It's like those horror movies that are about like angels and demons. It's like something like The Exorcist, like, oh, it's demonic. Like what if India saw that and they didn't know about our culture, right?
Yep.
They think,
Yeah.
oh, their culture's about demons and it's like Kali Ma. Oh, that's what Indians are like.
And they eat monkey brains.
Yeah, like they went hard on the culture shock.
Yeah, they tried to make many changes to the script, and Steven Spielberg was like, "No, what the fuck, no." So, to continue, some deals were made. The production initially agreed to change the locations of the script to a principality on the border of India, and they wouldn't use the word Maharaja. But the Indian government balked and demanded final cut of the film in order to censor what they deemed unworthy, which forced Watts and Scott to pack up and leave. They're like, nah. So later, the team decided to shoot certain exteriors in Kandy, a Sri Lankan city, while others, most importantly, the Maharaja's Palace, would be shot on the Paramount backlot and expanded using matte paintings. Further interiors, like the temple itself, would be constructed on sound stages at Elstree Studios in London.
It looked a
So
little.
they straight up just took pictures of these places and were like, we'll just re-fucking create it. Fuck you. And they did.
You had $28 million back in 1984. They get you a lot of shit there.
So after its release, Temple of Doom was banned in India, but the ruling has since been rescinded. So
That kind of shocks me. Usually those kind of countries don't go back on that shit. They ride a hard line usually.
yeah, but then they were like,
India's had a lot of reforms lately. I'll say that without getting into them. But
yeah, like there's been a lot of change in India in the last 100 years. Politics. All right, next question. Okay, so I got some more questions for you. So who from the film ended up getting married?
James
in real
Franco.
life? Oh, what?
Sorry, that's usually the answer. Keep going.
Who from the film got married in real life?
Willie?
And
It's probably not as
What
obvious.
is
as
it, a couple? Is it two people or is it one person?
It's two people. Two people that were a part of the film in some way. It's not going to be as obvious, I think, as you guys are thinking right now.
the elephant and Willie.
damn. Took my answer.
What about you, George?
As a couple, bro, you're tossing out. It's gonna be one of those the leaders, like one of those. I'm forgetting their names, like the Shiva.
I
Thuggies?
don't remember any of
The
them.
what?
They were their cult was the Thuggies.
Yeah, the leader of the thuggy, that really scary guy,
Okay.
and it's gonna be like a camera woman.
Okay. You were half right. Her name is Kate Capshaw, and Steven Spielberg got married right after that film.
Oh, yeah.
That's how she got in this movie.
No, it was no, they didn't even do that till after. It's funny because in the 3-hour-long DVD that I have that goes into all the behind the scenes,
Their weddings on there.
No, Steven Spielberg goes, yeah, in the movie Indy got the girl, but I really got the girl.
Oh my god.
Thanks for warming her up, Indy.
Oh my god. All right. Next question. What effects were used for the Minecraft chase scene, or Mine Shaft, not Minecraft, excuse me, don't copyright. Mine Shaft chase scene. What do you guys think they did to pull that off?
that one more time.
What effects? So like
What effect?
what special effects, what practical effects do you think, or CGI or anything you think were used for the mine shaft chase scene?
Well, we could see the CGI obviously in a few places.
There is some CGI. I will admit there is CGI in some of it.
When any of the mine carts get blown out, like flip off the tracks,
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
always hard cuts to CG, which is one of the funniest CG sections in my opinion. And then the water.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the water was definitely CG when it was washing
So
through
we'll
the
say
shaft.
CG, but what other things do you think they did to pull that scene off?
Well, like practical.
I mean,
Sure,
they had
practical.
to build like that fucking roller coaster?
Okay, so you think they built like an entire set for the roller coaster?
Now I'm not even gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Is this like the freaking point of view of the like Disney ride?"
Hold on to that thought after this question.
Okay. So no, but that's okay. That's the effect that I thought they played. They played.
So you think they just strapped a camera to like a roller coaster in real life and just
Yeah, no, I think that those
Okay.
are like, I think those were they did that a couple of times because they did that when they were in the raft too, where they do like that camera that's attached to their, whether it was the raft in the water and then it's the rail car.
okay?
But I'm not even sure what effect that would be. I'm not picking an effect.
What about
that's why
you?
I'm
So you said
struggling.
CGI.
I definitely get the impression, like you, George, that they basically like they built a roller coaster.
Okay. So they did build a roller coaster, but it was a miniature. And the cave surrounding it is painted tinfoil. So it's all miniatures. There are scenes where it's and you can tell.
I get it now. I get it. Okay, you're saying miniature. I was like, okay, they just built like a small roller coaster, but no, they're built like a like super small to scale.
and it was shot like it was almost like a stop motion because it was like a super small camera and it went through like.
So that's why it looked like there were speed ups.
Yes. And you can even tell like that scene where they come around the corner. You can tell those are fucking clay models. You look hard enough at Short Round's head and it's all like thin.
Look, they did fairly good with like using the motion to throw it off. I'll say that.
They did.
Yep. So there are, I mean, obviously there are scenes where it's actually them. So I do have a fun fact now. Going back to your thought about roller coasters. So for Temple of Doom,
Roller coaster.
Bert and his sound mixer, Gary Summers, faced a tough challenge in coming up with the adequate sound effects for the mine car sequence. To get the correct screeches and clangs from rail cars, they were granted unprecedented access to Disneyland after hours, and the two rode and recorded every roller coaster in the park, free from the normal white noise and omnipresent music that runs during the day. So they came in when it closed.
Oh
They
my
said,
gosh.
Throw us on every roller coaster, we're going to record it. And that's how all those sounds are from Disneyland.
Sure, it's for a movie. We need to ride all your roller coasters.
Well, I mean, it's Steven Spielberg.
Did we
He's
try
like,
to do that?
we don't have Steven
Just
Spielberg
put on
money.
a reflective vest. They'll let you do anything. You walk in there.
So for additional sound effects like
We're with the crew.
With the crew.
like the noises of insects in the bug
Mr.
scene.
Spielberg sent us here.
So Bert reused the sounds of running his fingers through a cheese casserole made by his wife, which was used in Raiders in the Lost Ark.
That's
Raiders
what
of the Lost
good
Ark
pussies taste like.
for
Or sounds like.
so to go to the first film, the slithering snakes that is in the bottom of that Egyptian like building. There's a bunch of snakes. That noise is him just.
Dude. It's sound people get so creative, man.
And then added the sounds of himself pulling the shells off of hard-boiled eggs, like just pulling it off for like the bugs walking over each other and stepping on them. Fortune cookies.
Original ASMR right there.
Yeah.
See, okay, that's so cool to me. Sound design is such a cool thing. When I was in high school, we did some mock radio broadcasts, old radio stories. It would be like a dramatization, and in the studio, they'd have different things for effects, like a little pan of dirt and gravel, and then a pair of shoes. And then, like, if the characters were like walking, they'd pick up the shoes and like put them in the dirt, and they had all kinds of wacky little devices and things for effects. Like, oh, here's a doorbell, here's a knocking sound, here's a gunshot sound. And so hearing about practical sound effects is always super cool to me.
Like I told you guys about one, like they did like most of the sounds you hear through the second and third film were made in filming of Raiders. Like the punch sound that just thick, like explosive punch. Like I said,
comic book punch. Whack.
was they said they put a bunch of like leather jackets and leather baseball gloves and then just whacked it with a bat as hard as they could. And that's how they got that sound. They added like reverb and delay to it and everything.
Sound
Every
like
time
Indy
you
got
get
fucking mollywop.
Oh, dude, he hella got Molly. And then like when like he rescues Willie Scott and she like slaps him, it has that punch sound. You're like, she didn't hit him that fucking hard. But that, yeah, those are the cool trivia questions and fun facts I had for you guys. I mean, I have so much more, but I was like, I'm not going to nerd out this entire.
I'll spare them.
Yeah. I mean, one that I did tell you though is so the lead guy for the Thuggies was the most, up until he died in 2005, was the most prominent actor in Bollywood. And at the time of filming in Temple of Doom, he was doing 18 other films at the same time. So his schedule, they were like, hey, can we get you today? He's like, no. So they literally had to all right, we got to move our entire filming schedule around this dude.
That's kind of badass, though, that they went for a Bollywood actor rather than looking for like, I guess, an Americanized person.
We did point out like, hey, that's a white dude just in like painted skin.
Yeah, we did see some of that.
But they did have a lot of people from India. Like I did say, like the main guy in the village who's like telling him all this stuff. He spoke no English. Steven Spielberg literally like read him his lines and he would repeat them.
Oh, the Indian Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're just like Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
Yes.
A Bollywood version of Back to the Future, that guy would play Doc Brown.
But yeah, this is my most favorite film. I love watching. I also love watching the behind the scenes for the movies. I might have to just let you guys borrow my box set. See that 3 hour.
I want to at least check it out now. I've heard a lot of good things about this from you. So I want to,
because it's all I fucking watched as a kid.
It's crazy. Dude, the way you connect with this, like I remember like watching Big Daddy a lot on VHS. There's like those couple of films that you get on when you're a kid and you're just like, I'm going to rewatch this until my eyes bleed.
I was like that with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Lord of the Rings. I would literally like come home from school and just pop my DVD player on and be like, I'm going to watch till I go to bed.
Honestly though, and it was like, I was content. I knew what I was going home to.
It was like therapeutic for me. I would come home and be like, I had a bad day at school. Oh, Legolas is going to be there for me. Fuck yeah. Oh no, he got shot. What do I do?
It's like The Office for me now, I would say. Like just toss on The Office and
yeah,
you could just leave it on in the background.
For watch.
I mean, that's me with so an old show that we weren't alive. We were alive for, but it was basically already over, was Mystery Science Theater 3000, which was a show from the 80s and 90s where the plot is the scientists send this guy to the moon and they're like, we're going to make you watch all these terrible like B films, like from like terrible sci-fi films from like the 60s, the 30s, all that. So this guy makes like robots to keep him company and they literally just do commentary over it, but they just make fun of it the whole time. And now they have a 24-hour Twitch stream that is,
oh my God,
that are all these episodes. And I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. I remember watching a few episodes with my dad, like when I was super little and not knowing what it was. And then I was like, this is fucking cool. I like this. This is cool. It's funny because like you watch really old films and then you're like, wow, this is really bad. And then you hear like one of the people like, wow, this is really bad. And you're like, oh, cool. It's something like when I watched a lot of it when I was sick because I was like, I don't want to do anything. I also started watching on Disney Plus Earth to Ned, which is from the people who do the Muppets. And it's two aliens. They come to Earth to destroy it, but then they fall in love with celebrities. So then they decide to create their own talk show.
Oh my God.
So they like beam up celebrities and interview them. And it's so funny because like the dude is like, am I a good host? And they're like, kinda. And he's like, what do you mean kinda? I should be a great host. And they're like, well, you're kind of aggressive. He's like, am I a good host? It's just, it's like Muppets humor. So
I get you.
It's just, I don't know. I totally like, especially now, like with the not to get serious on it, but like, you know, COVID and the political climate and the economic climate. It's just kind of nice to be like I find myself watching more Disney films with my son and just being like, all right, I'm just going to watch it.
It's simpler.
It's simpler.
Bust out that Shrek 2 DVD.
Oh, dude, my son is into
bro.
Shrek now. Vanessa put Shrek on for him and he was like, I dig this shit.
Has there been something going on with Shrek 2? I was in a Rocket League game the other day and like literally this dude would, because you can have it, you can talk during Rocket League to the team, and like this dude just every time a goal was scored, he just kept saying Shrek 2, Shrek 2.
What's a meme
Shrek
at this
2.
point?
It's a meme.
Yeah, Shrek
What
is
am I
a
missing?
meme.
Okay.
Nothing intelligent.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to put it as simply and succinctly as I can. Many things from the 90s and 2000s have this unholy like 2000s energy. Like, why did they do this? We all remember it, but looking back, why did they do this? Shrek is kind of unholy in that way. It's like, here's an ogre, and like all the movies are them making like pop culture references, and it's just like almost like
jokes.
a fever dream, you know?
It's kind of it's something like Vanessa the other day when she was really sick. I was like, "Hey, you ordered this on Amazon?" She goes, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "I didn't order it." She goes, "Oh my god, it must have been like because she had a really bad fever." She's like, "I literally must have had a fever dream and just ordered it."
That's crazy.
So like, I totally get that. Like, it's just something like it's kind of like just hold on and just hope you make it to the end.
I get you.
Kind of like, here we go.
Okay, wait, I want to touch base on Shrek again.
Yes. Go ahead.
The other reason why Shrek is a meme, it's part of its meme culture. It's like everything that was funny that we remember now is a meme. It's like all the SpongeBob memes. But also, there was a popular
YouTube video.
It was a 4chan green text story, and then it became a YouTube video called Shrek is Love, Shrek is
I
Life.
remember seeing that.
That's what started it all right there. Was
Okay.
that.
That had a big part to do with it. You know, it's like, I love Shrek so much, at all the DVDs and merchandise. And then he talks about Shrek coming into his room and
Making sweet love to him.
roaring a big mighty roar as he so it's like, oh, this is unholy. This is a meme now.
Oh my god.
And what I wanted to bring it up, I wanted to talk about Shrek though, because we were talking about like comfort watches, right? Like where you watch something as a kid so many times, eventually some of those things you get to remember it. Like you remember almost every scene and every line and every nuance, right?
Yes.
Longest yard.
Mm-hmm.
A recent meme that's come out of the Shrek memes is somebody saying that when they were a kid, they used to watch Shrek 2 in their head.
Oh yeah, they had watched it so
Was
many
it
times.
Shrek 1 or was it Shrek 2?
It was Shrek 2. No, I think it was Shrek 1. He said he had watched it
Okay.
so many goddamn times that he could like he would like sit in his room and just play it in his head.
There's this one kid. That just brings me to the story. Great story, because I'm a special ed teacher, so I get a lot of great interactions with some of these kiddos. And this kid is a functional life skills kid, which means he needs assistance, like throughout the rest of his life. And it's the very first time I ever met him. And then he said, "Hi, my name's David. My favorite movie is Shrek. I'm gonna do the intro scene for you in Shrek." He's like, intro. Shrek walks into the outhouse, kicks the door down. "Somebody once told me," and then he starts like he went through, started singing the song. He said, "Shrek is brushing his teeth now. Shrek is walking into his house." Bro, like literally how you guys say he can watch in his head. This David literally reenacted the entire first scene of Shrek 1.
And George was like, "This is art."
I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, in special ed, like you got to let him live in his world, bro. Go
let him
visit.
be him.
Go to freaking David and meet David on his level, because that's how you're gonna finally get to connect with him.
So George was saying that day for class, he saw the whole movie of Shrek without turning on a TV.
Oh, I've gotten really good at redirecting him. You gotta. Oh, David. I've seen the movie. All right, I've seen it. You do not need to reenact it for
It's
me,
a
David.
great movie. I agree, brother. Fist bump on that. But
Fist bump, and then you do a quick turnaround.
to kind of touch on that, when I was in Boy Scouts, I knew this guy, and he was telling me his cousin had like severe autism, and he had like his own personal DVD player that he would take with him everywhere, and he would just play like Disney like princess films like Snow White, and it got to the point where he would just start like reenacting them, just like he would just start saying them.
Yep,
because he had them played so often that's all really was in his head.
Oh, it's crazy, bro. I mean, they literally remember, and then not only will they remember the lines, but they remember the emotion. They remember the way that actor was looking
Down to the millisecond.
The timing
Like,
is
they'll get the
timing's
frame.
the crazy part, because the timing is what makes those reenactments good. Like I know whenever we were doing those synopsises of the movies, like when we first did this, I was horrible at it. And it's just because the timing's off. But those kids, it's like,
So what you're saying is we
clockwork.
got to bring David on and have him talk about Shrek.
oh, if you want to have, I can,
Have a 6-hour long podcast.
no, let me see if I can get David on like a Google Zoom thing, and then I'll record him and then see if we can get like the first intro. And then I'll see if his parents let me post it, I'll post it. Why not?
For everybody listening, we don't plan to take advantage of David in any way, shape, or form. We're just
No.
letting him be him.
I
And
absolutely,
celebrating
if you
him.
ever see my students on any social media, I of course have their parents, not only their parents' permission, but it's their kids. Like, you got to tell the kids, because they're in high school now, you know, like, are you okay with this? Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be on the
I feel
internet.
like most of them are though, right?
Oh, they love that
Is
shit.
David the one that like helps you clean up and like he was?
No, that was Jonathan.
The one that you guys made
Yes.
the stick,
Yeah, we got Jonathan's almost at 500 YouTube subscribers.
dude.
Oh,
Crazy.
good for him. That's badass.
He was at 36 at the start of last school year, and now we're up to almost 500.
Dude, sick.
Kicking it.
Well,
Kicking ass.
to kind of wrap up this episode,
Wait, hold
Oh,
on.
go ahead.
I have one last thing. Okay. I had something, the closest that I had to this watching Shrek in my head thing was that there was a time, many years of my life, where on living room TV, we would watch Family Guy. That was like the thing we'd watch. Okay. And when you watch a show enough, like you start seeing like the cycles of all the seasons and you like know all the episodes and stuff. I got to a point of knowledge of the show where I could say and quote the characters every line in every episode as they said them.
Jesus Christ.
But I can't do it anymore. This was like 10 years ago or something.
it's a lost talent.
Okay. And recently me and my buddies we do this thing where we get on a call together and I share my screen and we'll play like a random flash game, like just for funsies, like, oh, let's find something stupid and like experience it together. We found a Family Guy quiz and I was able, it would like leave 2 blank words and you have to fill out the quote. I was able to do all of them. And they're like, Chris, how do you know Family Guy this much?
See, that's me with Quiz Up because I remember like my mom, I showed my mom it and she was like, how are you getting these questions so fast? And I'm like, I am a machine.
So yeah, that's, you know, it's a lost talent. But at one time I could quote every existing episode of Family Guy, every line.
That is fucking dumb.
That's crazy. Well, to officially wrap things up, I was really excited that I was able to share my favorite movie with you guys and just watch it. It was great nostalgia. It's still, you know, watching it as an older, I was like, man, this is fucking great. Just the CGI is terrible. The acting is over the top. The gags they make me want to gag. It's like, but it's so goddamn great. And Indiana Jones is like, even he ages like fine wine, man.
He does.
I mean, and we had a little celebration today. 1 for my work, and 2 because you know I'm not dead.
Yes.
So I brought some bourbon.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah, Mr. Evan Williams. We did a shot, and then we had a bourbon and Coke, and it was just, I don't know. I just really felt like an adult. I'm watching Indiana Jones. I'm having a nice ass bourbon.
Yes, bro.
It was great. So I really, I'm really happy to be back. I missed you guys. I missed all the listeners. I was like, I did say, I was like, God, I'm not fucking dead when I was listening to the last episode and editing it.
Yeah, I know. Sorry if Austin was like, you know, it sounded really somber because I literally remember I told Chris right before this, I was like, we're gonna like talk about Austin first, and I was like, and now like we just got to bring up Austin. Like
Austin has died.
He's on a table. We're going to sacrifice him to Kali.
Things aren't looking too good, but he's fine. The doctor said he has a 50-50 chance of me.
Out of 100%. Yeah, when I was editing the episode, I was basically all fine. I was like, I feel fine now. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that we could kick things back off with this episode. We're back, everybody. I know we had a little bit of hiccup in episodes and coming out, but we're back. We're going to be back to normal, I promise.
Oh, yes.
Hope you guys can forgive that I was dying. And you guys know where to find us. I mean, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook under the Lukewarm Cinema Podcast.
Longitude 41.5, latitude.
Hey, whoa. Don't be giving us a...
Oh, yeah, we're on lists. I shouldn't give that out. Just kidding.
Anyways, we have merch. We have shirts. George looks amazing when he wears our shirt. I need to get one.
Everyone always looks at me. I was like, I have to get neon yellow because I want people to.
Do you wear it at the gym?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I will though.
I gotta get back to the gym.
Don't talk about that. Let's
Dude,
not talk about
Vanessa was like, I didn't need to go to the gym. I lost 12 pounds while being sick. She didn't eat anything.
it. Oh,
and I was like, that's not healthy.
It'll come back fast. But enjoy it while you look.
Like
good,
we got in and out yesterday, and she was like, "Fuck you! I don't want to gain it all back."
Take all your pictures while you can. You know.
Yeah,
I don't know who this Jim is, but he sounds like a good doctor.
Well, we appreciate you guys listening to us talk about the best movie that was ever made, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And until next week.
Hold on, Christian's next. You got to pick out your movie next. We're watching.
Yeah. We got to watch your movie.
Oh,
we're gonna watch Shrek.
American Psycho.
American Psycho. That's a good ass movie. I'll figure one out for us. Don't worry.
Yeah. And then we'll probably cycle back around to George. But be prepared for the future. We got some cool things in the works that we're talking about for upcoming months, upcoming shows. We got some cool stuff. Like we're gonna have Christian call like a movie theater and prank call him and just ask to give him all the Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if I'm gonna bring protesters to read the B movie with megaphones. We're gonna read the B movie script with megaphones.
But every time they say B, they get louder.
I like that.
Just like
where is my Mr. Pibb?
By all laws of natures, bees shouldn't fly.
Well, thank you everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.